everyone, and welcome to another awesome episode of Gem. It's me, your favorite host, Alison, where I bring you life, career, real estate, and more. How have you guys been? How has your week been? For us here in Lagos, it has been a rainy week, and for those people who stay in Lagos, we know, it's been crazy all week. Floods everywhere. Really sympathizing with those people whom their homes were affected or are being affected by this flooding situation. Like, it's truly a very painful one. So sorry about that. So getting into today's topic, it is one that has been controversial, sparked a whole lot of conversations and arguments, even frustrations in so many cities. It's something that you and we can relate to, or we have stumbled upon such conversations on social media. We're going to be discussing it right here. Tenants are asking, why am I being asked to pay almost 100% increase to my rent? Like, it seems unfair. There is that frustration and that complaint on the hike and increase in rent value. And also, on the other hand, landlords are saying things are expensive. Standard of living is expensive. Cost of construction is expensive. So we have no choice but to increase this rent in order for us to stay afloat in this business. So we're going to be discussing on the topic, why is rent increasing so much? We're going to be dissecting why housing cost has been on an increase, checking it from both the tenant and the landlord view for everyone to have a clear understanding on the reason why this is happening. Without much conversation, let's get into it. So the frustration is real. Let's be very honest. People are going through a lot in this economy. Tenants are going through a lot in this economy. Many tenants are genuinely struggling with the impromptu increase of rent by 50%, 100%, even some places 200%. And this is telling a lot in so many tenants. Rent payments is one of the highest form of expenses that most families tend to budget for. So this whole sudden increase tends to affect a whole lot for the tenants. When rent suddenly increases for people, it tends to cause anxiety, confusion. It disrupts so many plans. But for us to understand why this is happening, we have to go behind the scenes to know what really is the genuine cost of all of this increase in rent. The first one we would be highlighting is inflation. Inflation is the number one cause of increase in rent. From building materials to cost of production to insurance to service charge to facility management, everything has gone overboard in terms of pricing due to inflation. And because all these things are getting expensive, landlords have no choice but to increase their rent in order for them to be able to stay afloat in the same economy, in order for them to be able to still buy and sell and exist in the same economy that you and I are trying to thrive in. When the cost of maintaining properties increase, rental value must always follow it. That's just how it has always been since time immemorial. Now, another problem is cost of building. So many houses are being renovated. That's old houses are being renovated by these landlords. New houses are also raised by developers. Now, a bag of cement that probably they were buying before, we all know the history how cement went from 1.5 to 2.5 to 5,000, 7.5, entered 9,000. Now cement is selling at the rate of, I think, 12.5, 11.5, 12.5. I think the last time I bought cement was 12,500. This also spreads into so many things, from stones to iron to paint to wood to lighting, electricals, kitchen fittings, so many things that are being done. I know most people will be like, oh, the property the landlord is increasing, did he just construct it? But he is either he is going to renovate or he is already renovating to usher in new tenants. And you who you are staying there, he has to also charge you in order for him to be able to put out the proposed money he intends to use to renovate that place once you move out. So these are so many factors. Cost of building material is one of the major problem of the constant increase in rental value. Landlord and developers need to put this into consideration because this influences rental prices. Another factor that has actually affected the increase in rental value is the factor of supply and demand. Now, we all know in functioning cities or in urban areas, urban cities like Lagos, New York, Hong Kong, London, Abuja, because of the good roads, the schools, the basic amenities being provided are top notch, there is a high influx of people, high migration of people into such city. The job opportunities that happens in urban cities, so there's an high influx of people, but now these people who are available, there are limited houses available for them to occupy. So now there is a high demand with very limited supply. Not so much houses are available for rental opportunities. So that's also the part where we have the housing deficit. That is a problem, a constant problem in Nigeria, and Lagos as a case study. So yeah, the factor of supply and demand is also a propelling force to an increase in rental value. So by stating all of this, I know the next question would be, should rental value increase by 100 and 200%? Now, you know, this is actually a very sensitive question that doesn't really have a yes and a no direct answer, but I feel a much more transparent, level playing field whereby landlords who want to increase their rent should actually give tenants notice, like an upfront notice on, okay, if you plan to increase your rent by December, I think from January or February you need to start letting your tenants know that you need to get prepared, or your next year renewal is going to be XYZ amount of money, so that they are also going to use, they have enough time, they have 9 months, they have 10 months to prepare themselves in order to be able to gather and raise these funds as rent. Secondly, again, it has a lot to do with the tenants, their earning capacity. Tenants' earning capacity also has to increase, has to be boosted in order for them to be able to pay for these homes where they occupy that are currently increasing by huge percentage. Like, rental value cannot be increasing by 100 and 200%, whereas people who are earning 500,000 naira a month 1 year ago, and 1 year now they are still taking home 500,000 naira. Like, those are just the constraints that tend to affect, or that cannot make that question, should it or should it not increase. It should increase because the landlord in question is also buying from the same economy that you and I are buying from, that we are complaining things are expensive to buy from. So these landlords, if they do not increase their rents, they wouldn't also be able to stay afloat in their own personal lives. The purpose they raised those structures, the purpose they went into real estate, is because they want to earn money from it. So it's just a level playing economy, a transparent economy, an economy that makes it favorable for everybody to thrive. So these are things that tenants can do. Number one is to plan ahead financially. This is the part where I said the landlord giving the tenant heads up 9 months, 10 months before renewal that you intend to increase your rent, so the tenants can have enough time to plan themselves. Secondly is to pay your rent ahead of the year. Now, this is the part where those properties that are being given out for lease, 3-year lease, 5 years lease, those are actually the people who are enjoying, according to real estate standard in so many cities, especially in Nigeria, as a case study, 2 years rental is not something that is applicable. But most people, I have seen tenants who, because they know they have the cash now and they do not want anything rent to bother them in the next 3 years or 4 years, they see the place, they like it, they know the location, they know the environment is okay, this place has a record of it has been peaceful for a very long time. They tend to pay for 3 years, 4 years, 5 years rent. So that's like a long lease. So for the next 5 years, they know they are still standing on 5 years ago rent that they leased the space for. So before that 5 years, they'll be able to gather themselves for the next 5 years renewal. Thirdly is for you to maintain a good relationship, a cordial relationship with your landlord, the property manager. By all means, that's a place you are living in. You really do not want to cause chaos or have issue in an environment where you call home. Once there is a cordial relationship and rapport, if an increase wants to happen, and then there will always be room for dialogue. But definitely once it is a stiff neck, rigid or high temperature relationship, now there wouldn't be room for dialogue. So maintaining a good relationship with your landlord or your property manager is actually another good way for you to scale through this rental increase situation. Fourthly, you need to understand current market value around your area. That helps you a lot in terms of understanding the increase or the hike in your rent. Because knowledge gives you position, knowledge gives you what to say and how to say and where to tackle in a discussion or a conversation that has to do with renewal of rent. So that is the part on the tenant side. Let us discuss on the landlord's aspect. Dear landlords, what you should remember: a property is not just bricks and mortar. A property is also a relationship. You know, a long-term tenant who has always been peaceful, obey your rules, keep the environment in so much decorum, do not bring chaos to your space. You know, that is actually a tenant for keeps. Some persons might actually come in with the money, but then when they pay you that money, they would steal sleep and peace from your eyes. They're just coming with so much chaos. And tenants who have also been awesome and peaceful with us, there should be that room or that ease for negotiation and adjustment when it comes to them. Vacancy period, we all know, can be extremely costly. And then renewal or bringing in of a new tenant is also costly on its own side. One thing that we property owners do not want to experience is having a tenant that is a bone in your neck. A tenant that comes with so much chaos, so much heat, so much pressure. They give you money and then give you problem worth how many millions. Just no landlord, no property owner wants to experience that at all. Like in no way do anybody want to experience that. We all know retaining a nice, a good, a loving, a disciplined tenant, a peaceful tenant, a focused tenant, someone that just they mind their business, or they participate when it has to be. They are very, very cooperative. They are peaceful. They don't bring in so much friends. They don't cause chaos party. We all know those are like the tenants each and every one of us wants to have, because it is much more beneficial having those than bringing chaos into your house. So guys, we have a new session on Gem Podcast. Drum roll. It is called Did You Know? Yes, on this session I will bringing you global real estate facts that happen in countries from around the world. Real estate information, things that when you hear you be like, so people in Japan are enjoying this. So people in Singapore, they experienced this before. Chige, just information that can always help you, that would help us understand this whole industry called real estate. On today's Did You Know that in cities like New York, Hong Kong, London, housing affordability has become one of the biggest urban challenges in the world. Like, people literally pay as high as 30% of their income in terms of securing accommodation. Yeah. So this inflation thing is not just in your country or in your own current city where you're occupying. It is actually a global problem that has led both the government and also developers to look into improvising accommodation solution in order for them to curb this high increase of rental value. Housing affordability is not just a local conversation, it is actually a global real estate challenge, and this today is our real estate global fact. In conclusion, the issue of rising rents is actually a complex topic, because this is an issue for the tenants and also a costing problem for landlords. Understanding both sides help us have better conversations and also navigate through possible solutions. So whether you are a tenant, a landlord, a developer, or an aspiring investor, one thing is certain: housing remains one of the most important factors of the human existence, and it always affects our today, our tomorrow, also shaping the tomorrow. On today's gem of the day, Real estate is not just about property, it is about people, it is about value, and it is also about finding balance. Thank you so much for joining me on today's episode of Gem. I'm sure it was actually a very engaging one, but we can always further our conversation in the comment section. What do you think? Do you think the whole rent increase stuff? Do you have your own solution? Do you have your own ways whereby these things can actually be done that would also help the cordial relationship between tenants and landlord? Go ahead, drop it in the comment section. Let's continue our conversations from there. But remember, you can always follow me on my social media pages from Instagram, Facebook, and TikTok. And do not forget to like this video, share this video, drop a comment section, subscribe to this channel, guys. It's really and truly means a lot to me. Alright, till I come your way next time, I still remain your awesome host, Alison, and this, my beloved, is Gem.